Feelings mutual. Did Meredith tell you what he was thinking? Yeah. He said, we're 1, 2, 3s. 1, 2, 3, I'm tired.
That's not a bad idea.
Okay, let's roll right into our race-winning team for tonight's 64th annual Bojangles Southern 500. And our winning race team was the number 20 Home Depot Husky Toyota, driven by Matt Kenseth, owner Joe Gibbs, crew chief Wally Brown. This is Matt's 27th victory in his Sprint Cup Series.
Well, Walter.
This is Wally Brown's first win in the Sprint Cup Series. He's 1-0. Team President J.D. Gibbs joins us up front as well. Matt Kenseth, third win this year. That leads everybody in the Sprint Cup Series. He's up to third in points. And Matt, congratulations on your win tonight. Also, congratulations on your son Ross's win at South Boston tonight. And so it's a big evening tonight for the Kenseth men. But congratulations, and talk about how you won this race tonight.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. So, yeah, I mean, the win was all the guys that work on the car, really, from everybody that puts these things together in Huntersville, everybody who prepared all week, the guys doing the pit stops, everybody here, Jason back there working on it as well. Obviously, Wally headed the ship this weekend, so everybody at Toyota. So the car was really, really fast to start the race. We had a lot of speed in it, and then we just kind of got off. You know, the racetrack changed, and we got much looser than we anticipated. And we really could never get it. So the second to last pit stop we made, we had it closer, but then it took off, and it still wasn't going to be near good enough. And I don't know what they changed that last pit stop, but, man, I told them about 4 laps into the run that it was going to, if we went green to the end, we were going to be pretty good. It took off really fast. So, thankfully we saved the best for last.
How's it feel to win at Darlington Raceway as well?
Man, it's it's right up there. I don't know that I've had a win that feels bigger than this at this moment. So this is just obviously a really historic racetrack. The Southern 500 is one of the most storied and historic races that there is anywhere besides just in NASCAR. So it's pretty cool to be able to stand in victory lane at this place with the same spot where all the other great drivers stood. So it's pretty neat race to win for sure.
And Wally Brown, crew chief, you're 1-0. Talk about how things went for you this weekend, and certainly culminating with a big win here tonight.
Overall, the weekend went pretty good. Just due to the preparation of the 20 guys and Jason Ratcliffe, and they put a lot of effort just to make it. Several test plans. We just had our plan all weekend. It actually went pretty smooth. Once the race started, noticed we were able to hang in there for a while, and I thought I knew at that point we'd be okay. And if we just kept up with the track conditions, we'd have a good night.
And J.D., congratulations. Not only did you win this race tonight, but you won 2. Denny Hamlin coming in second. That was a strong showing by Denny, and we had him in here earlier tonight. So you got it. Matt Kenseth, 3 wins. Denny's back in the saddle. Kyle certainly had a great run tonight and had that unfortunate deal happen. So, you got to feel good about how the performance of Joe Gibbs Racing is going so far.
No, we do. I think all of our drivers, Matt and Denny and Kyle, they're just good behind the wheel. And I was talking to Wally Brown a little bit earlier and just said, hey, you going to come out of retirement? He goes, I've re-retired. I'm done. And so, we love the fact that, our penalty got cut back, but no one loved it as much as Wally did. He don't have to crew chief anything.
Give Wally a chance to shine for sure. Let's take questions now for Matt, Wally, or J.D. If you have one, raise your hand. We'll bring you the wireless mic. Questions? Pete, right here on the front row. If we can get Pete, and then we'll go over here to Mike.
Pete Iacobelli with AP. Matt, I mean, you're a series champion. You won a couple of Daytona 500s. Why is this one of the biggest wins, or why do you believe this is one of the biggest wins of your career?
Oh, man, there's just a lot of reasons, but I think just to win the Southern 500, I mean, it's, obviously it's a little bit different. since they moved it from Labor Day, but I mean, to me, it still has the same meaning. So I remember when I first came here and ran the Southern 500 on Labor Day, and it was 90 degrees, and the track is so slick and slow, and it was a 5-hour race, and it was just a crazy, grueling, difficult race. So it's a tricky track. There's a lot of tradition here. To be able to win a race at a track like this, especially the Southern 500, is just man, it's just big. It's one of the in my mind, it's one of the biggest races we have of the year, really. So it's just a special place to win at.
Let's go over to Mike, then we'll go to David, then we'll go to Zach, and then we'll go press box.
Mike Neff, frontstretch.com. Matt, you mentioned the historic significance of winning at Darlington. This win also puts you within 6 wins of being in the top 20 all-time in wins in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Just looking back at your career in the 12 or 13 years it's been, did you ever imagine you would be at that level over the whole history of NASCAR?
You mean especially being so young? So I'm trying to look forward and not back. I'm hoping Joe and JD keep me around for a long time. So I'm not planning on looking back until I'm done, which I hope is a long time for now. But certainly I've been very fortunate, very very blessed throughout my career to have great race teams, great people working on the cars, great sponsors, the whole thing. So I've been very fortunate. I got the good job, and I got the easy job. When they give me cars that are this fast and drive like this, it's sure is a lot of fun.
Let's go to David Newton, Zach Albert, and then we'll go press box and then come back down.
Yeah, David Newton, ESPN.com. Yeah, Matt, I can see you through the hole there. A lot of people compared you to David Pearson over the years, kind of the way he kind of laid back and would save the best for the last. That kind of looked like tonight a little bit. I don't know if he was saving anything or not. But, and this is a race that Pearson won more than anybody else. Does that go into the factor that it makes it more special? And did you ever kind of look up to Pearson the way people compare him to you?
Yeah, tonight it just kind of worked out like that. We've led a lot of laps this year. We've been up front and not really finished them all off the way I hoped. Like last week, for instance, I kind of don't do the right thing, and we take a car that I feel like should have won and finished 8th with it. So that's disappointing. So tonight, really, through that middle portion of the race, I thought we had about a 5th place car, and we just had good track position, or maybe would have been back a little farther. But we're somewhere in there. We just kind of got off a little bit. To start the race, we were really good the first 2 runs, and then we got off. And man, we were trying. We just with all them long green flag runs, we didn't have a lot of time to take a breath and make huge adjustments and do all that stuff. So those guys all worked together back there to make all the right adjustments. And fortunately, we got that caution with whatever it was, 25 to go. Had a really good solid pit stop, and we had great adjustments. And it took off in about 3 laps in that run. I told Wally, I was like, if this thing goes green to the end, we might be okay. You'll never know if Kyle didn't have a problem if we were able to beat him or not. But that was certainly our fastest run of the day, and it was incredibly fast when it needed it to be.
Let's go to Zach, and then we'll go to press box.
Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. This is for JD. I was wondering if you could specifically address Denny's performance in the face of a mentally and physically grueling race, and just his chances at making the chase, which is his goal in the comeback.
Right. I saw him when he came over to congratulate Matt after the race was over, and I just asked him, how you feeling? And he just said, hey, I'm sore because, man, I've wanted to do this for a long time. So it's fun to kind of see him. He's passionate about it. And I think when you're not in the sport and you haven't been driving for a while, it reignites that passion. So he's kind of back in that mode. And so I think, he felt a little bit of pain, but it wasn't nearly what he thought it might be. And so I think he's excited to be back in that role. I don't know. You're gonna have to win some races. You have to get top 20. So I think I told Matt, why don't you let Denny win? And Matt's like, oh, I ain't gonna let him win. And so I think he's got pretty good chances, but it's hard to predict that stuff.
Let's go to the press box, and then we'll come downstairs to Bob, David Caravello, and the gentleman in the left. Go ahead, press box.
Tony Bowley, Courier Tribune. This for JD. JD, for a track nicknamed the track too tough to tame, if there was a team that tamed it, it was you guys this weekend. Could you just talk about that performance and what it was that your team had this weekend?
Can you pump that up any, Jeff? Okay. Can you repeat that question, please? Speak a little louder.
for JD for the track nickname.
Try it again.
Okay. For the track nickname, the track Too Tough to Tame, you guys surely tamed it this weekend. Can you talk about your team's performance and what it was you guys had this weekend?
Yeah, I really don't know. It was just a blessing and great to be a part of it. And I told the guys that ran the track, hey, I raced here years ago. I was probably the worst driver ever at Darlington they've seen here. I made it 20
Not
laps.
probably.
I made it 20 laps. But I just think, I think our whole team, we've just got a great team. So from the top to bottom, drivers, crew chiefs, guys that travel, guys back at the shop. And I think that really pays off on the weekend. It pays off in Nationwide. That's kind of our training ground for the guys to move up to Cup. And then it pays off at Cup. We have guys that they work hard, they work long hours, and they enjoy it. And they enjoy winning races too.
Come back downstairs. We'll go to Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Packer, Sporting News. Matt, if you guys don't win the appeal or most of the appeal on Wednesday, do you still win this race, or do you feel like it would have just been deflating for the team and maybe they would not have performed as well?
No, I don't think anything would have been any different. I mean, Jason would have been home either way, so I don't think it would have made any difference.
Let's go to gentleman over here to the left. Raise your hand. We'll get you the mic.
Steve Conley, MotorRacingDigest.com. JD, you knew in the offseason bringing Matt in, you were getting a champion, a race-winning driver. Success early for a driver when he makes a change is not typical. Are you a little surprised with where Matt is right now? And Matt, are you actually kind of surprised with the early season success that you've had as well?
I think I knew Matt pretty well before, but when he came on the team, he's a good leader, and I think Denny and Kyle really like having him there and hearing what he has to say. And he's just on the racetrack. He just has a gift, and so I think it's really been a blessing for Joe Gibbs Racing to have him kind of join our team, and we look forward to a great future.
David Caravello.
David Caravello, NASCAR.com. Wally, JD joked about coming out of retirement to do this. I mean, where were you before tonight, and where do you go now? And sort of, are you stunned to be here?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be back in the shop floor Monday morning doing my regular job. This was just a one race deal, just to help out.
How much was Jason involved in all this weekend, even though he wasn't here?
Jason was pivotal to this win. I mean, we were in constant communications at all time, and really this win's because of him and his guys and how prepared they are. I mean, it's amazing.
That's not what Wally told me earlier.
Other questions? Nate has one right here. And then David.
Nate Bryan, USA Today Sports. Matt, I know you guys don't look at... Why are you smiling already at me?
Just because you look really down. I just wonder, are you all right?
It's been a long day.
I mean, you look just really down. Is everything okay with you?
Yeah. I appreciate you asking. It's probably not the proper forum for that, but I appreciate it.
You can tell me later, but I'm just worried about you, bud.
All right, I'll send you a text later. All right, so you've won 3 of your first 11 races with Joe Gibbs Racing. I know you don't think of it this way, but some people are probably saying, what if the team is peaking too early? Because we've seen a lot of times that teams do really well early in the regular season and then kind of fade in the chase. Is there any concern there? Is there any way to guard against that? Are you concerned about it?
No, I mean, I'm not a big believer in that. I mean, I think the goal of a race team and an organization is to never peak. I think it's to continue to keep getting better, and that's one thing that I've seen over there from pretty much day one is they're not standing still. I mean, they're always trying to build a better car, and TRD's always trying to build a better engine, and we're always trying to do all that and working on the future. So I think that's how racing is, and no, I don't have any concern. I really feel like, with this team and driving this car, I really feel like the sky's the limit. I mean, this stuff has just been, incredibly fast. And Jason and I really have a kind of a special bond right away, it seems like, and with that whole team. So, gosh, I couldn't feel much better about our year so far.
Let's go to David Newton.
Hey, if something's wrong, I hope it gets better, man. I like seeing that smile. I mean, I haven't shaved in a while. I'm kind of worried. It looks good though. All right, I'll stop now.
Speaking of people that may be a little bit down, your teammate Kyle Busch, does it matter, or is it different the way you approach it? If you after something like that happens and you beat a guy that dominated the race, so you have to, when you go to the shop, is it any different there? And is it going to be tough for him to come back from something like that?
No, I mean, look, I mean, we've all been there, and man, it's it's crushing when you lead all day like that and don't come home with a win, especially if it's something that you get a flat tire or something nobody can do about. I mean, that's really disappointing. I mean, Kyle and Danny both are just they're great teammates. They're both capable of winning any racetrack any week, and that helps me a lot. That really makes me a better driver and elevates my game. And so anyway, I'm sure Kyle's disappointed. Man, I was disappointed last week. We led all them laps, and I messed up that green-white checkered, or I don't know what I could have done different, but finished 8th. I mean, that's always disappointing. So, I think everything's going to be fine. I think there's a lot to be encouraged about there, how good all 3 cars ran, and they'll be ready to race next week.
Jim Utter has a question.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer for JD. Obviously, JGR, you guys have won championships in the past, but kind of putting the start of this season in perspective, do you think you've ever been as strong, top to bottom, series to series, team to team, and competitive as you have been this season?
I think we have been strong in the past. I think what we've learned over all these years is just you have to be consistent. And so, hey, you can't start off too strong. You can't end. To me, it's just that consistency. And I think our guys really get that at the shop. And then, nationwide, really, hey, the reality of nationwide is you're never going to make a lot of money doing it, but it's the best training ground we could ever have for Joe Gibbs Racing. So if you can do it, and I don't care for engineers, mechanics, crew chiefs, drivers, if you can do it through that, the guys get a chance to watch you. And a lot of our guys came through nationwide, and so when they pay real attention to what's going on down there, and so that really helps out, and it gives us a great foundation.
Any additional questions? Okay. Matt, Wally, JD, congratulations on a big win here tonight, the Bojangles Southern 500 at Darlington.